This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I'm joined once again by the wonderful Nina West, joining us all the way from Domäne Wachau in the Wachau Valley, Austria. How are you today, Nina?
I'm doing well, thank you, Jamie.
Smashing. So it's nice and early in the morning for me to be drinking wine once again, much to the chagrin of my wife. But we have a bottle of Domäne Wachau Grüner Veltliner Federspiel 2021 Terrassen. Terrassen down there. Very important little detail that I had missed out previously. I think this is a wonderful example of Wachau Grüner Veltliner. I think it really expresses that kind of Federspiel level, both in texture, richness, and the aromatics and flavors coming through here. Please tell us a little bit about this wine. I'd be curious as to your personal take on it, as well as the Domäne Wachau take.
Of course. So the Grüner Veltliner Federspiel Terrassen 2021 is a fantastic wine. This is a true benchmark wine of the region. It's clearly representative of the styles of Grüner Veltliner, with lots of white fruits and white pepper, great acidity and minerality due to our stony soils here throughout the valley. The Grüner Veltliner Terrassen is a regional wine. So this is coming from all over the valley, everywhere where we have terraced vineyards. So this is an important fact to keep in mind.
Yeah.
It's not coming from the valley floor, which we have a little bit of vineyards here on the eastern side in the valley, but it's coming from the steep hillsides, which have really poor stony soils and makes for an exceptional wine. This is one of my go-to drinking wines. Yeah. It's perfect for every day. It's one of the most successful Austrian white wines in this category because of a great quality to quantity ratio. It's accessible, it's available for most people to have access to, and like you mentioned, it's not too expensive, so it's a good one to reach for.
It really does capture that specific richness, textural level of the Federspiel. That's what I really love about it. Because, I mean, you can get Grüner Veltliners, which are a little bit less expensive than this, that just don't have that kind of body that I really love in a good Wachau Grüner Veltliner. Would that be a fair enough observation?
Yes, absolutely. This is a regional wine. So as I mentioned, it's coming from all throughout the region, from the east side to the west side, from our 150 different vineyard parcels. And it's made in the same style as all of our single vineyard wines. So this regional wine is being made with dedication and small batch production. Our small growers all throughout the valley are really putting everything they have into farming these grapes to the highest quality and in a sustainable way. It's kind of like comparing a Wachau regional wine to a Chablis AOC, the regional wine. It's coming from all over. So it's truly a blend of what makes everything so great here in the Wachau.
Super. Where are your biggest markets for this particular wine?
This particular wine does great at home here in Austria.
Right.
Germany is a major importer of this wine, as well as the Netherlands. Canada is doing quite well with this wine, and our neighbors to the south in the US.
Now, you are living in Austria now and must have had this at quite a few events. You said this is your go-to wine. Where would you place this at the dinner table? What do you most enjoy drinking this with?
I would put this either as like a conversation wine when you're just picking on hors d'oeuvres and like a charcuterie plate, or to sit down and start the beginning of the meal when you have vegetables or fish or something, a lighter dish. And then this is kind of representative in the name of the wine as a Federspiel. When you see this on the label, it means the style of the wine is going to be medium bodied, very elegant, bright, and refreshing.
Which it certainly is. What are the differences vintage to vintage with this wine? Or do you try and keep a kind of consistency going on with this wine because it comes from so many different plots?
Of course, there is a bit of consistency in the texture and in the style of what's coming from the Wachau. This wine always has a lot of minerality. But as far as does the wine taste the same year to year? It's kind of a yes and a no, because we do have a lot of varietal characteristics that come through every year naturally, but we also have markers of the vintage which play into this wine. In 2021, it was an exceptional vintage. We have a lot of tension, a lot of bright minerality, citrus notes, and this plays through every year. In 2022, as we see the wines coming onto the market in the near future, these wines are a little bit more ready to drink in their youth, and they have a bit more fruitiness and maybe like a light white flower quality to them as well.
Interesting. And the vinification for a wine like this is reasonably simple, is it not?
Yes, so everything comes in and is pressed in our gravity flow winery. It's all cold pressed, and maybe for a short while the grapes will sit on their skins just to help intensify the natural flavors. And then we are moving the wine by gravity into stainless steel tanks for fermentation and their élevage.
Delightful. I really like the salinity on this. It's just at the very end of the palate. That minerality that you were speaking of is really quite marked in this. But the acidity is I mean, it's typical for the Wachau. You do have that richness. You were saying, saying it's medium bodied, but there is a definite weight on the palate for sure. There's almost like a kind of glycerin type weight in the mouth or feeling for me that I really enjoy. The acid it's perfectly balanced with all that ripe fruit in there, and you do get those typical kind of white fruit, white pepper things on the nose. So it's kind of like a benchmark for Wachau Grüner for me, especially at the Federspiel level. Delightful wine, and thank you very much for sharing it with us today. I'm going to put this away and enjoy it later this evening. I think too much work to do today to be consuming it all day. Nina, thank you very much for joining us all the way from the Wachau today, and we look forward to hosting you at some point in Ontario.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated, Jamie.
Excellent. Take care. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.